Hi everyone. So very good morning, good afternoon, and good evening for all those who are watching this live today. With me, Sinu Kumar with Educate to Trade. So happy to discuss more hot topic which we call as FOMC and the rate cut decisions. But before that, I hope you guys have read the post before FOMC and what is the plan of action which we have already mentioned before the CAD news event yesterday. So in this live session, if you guys want me to trade on scalping opportunities, let it be counter trend or a trend, we'll be engaging with scalping. If not, then we won't get any momentum trading opportunity within this window, but we will try to analyze the market within a minute time frame and try to do some scalping opportunities. Because with respect to the assets which we are looking on, gold, BTC, DXY, USD, JPY, GBP, USD, dollar index, DAX, and NASDAQ. So we have already hit with Bank Nifty targets today. Gold is traveling in its direction, which we have mentioned on yesterday's on our community, but staggering with respect to DXY. Let me take you through the session, but before that, how are you guys doing? What do you guys think whether the rate is going to cut or not? I'm not going to ask that one. Would you like to have a session with live trading, or would you like to see the bigger play momentum opportunities and the analysis? So let me see your comments. I can see that Thekasua, Javo Lotus, Kenar, AHAH, Kesper, Nick, Ali Ahmad, Alexander. Many people have joined. Thank you so much. And hi, everyone. Let's see how the market is unfolding today. And before that, we will go and see all the charts and patterns as well. Right? All right. Tu, 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 tu. So from yesterday's, the update which have posted around 12:30 ish, same time, 12:30, 1 o'clock, we have seen the movements have started with respect to gold. This is the point when we updated our quick recap on FOMC. Gold played it nicely even after the NYPM session and also the consolidation. Post lunch, we had a consolidation. But if you look for a moment with respect to sessions, Asia have been distributed downside for the first time on this entire rally. When I say for the first time, even you can go back in time and check right after the breakout which has happened. Let me take you through the chart. Yeah, right after the breakout happened from 3400 levels. If you consider any Asia sessions in between, we will go back and check the all the Asia sessions. It never have been in a zone where it distributed towards downside. It have been accumulation through all the Asia sessions. But for the very first time today morning, we can see Asia got distributed, followed by London got distributed as well towards downside. And even we are going to see the similar pattern if the market is not able to sustain this previous day low and the previous day high, which is going to be on the futures. But on the spot charts, the key level what I'm watching for today is 3674 followed by 3684. If the market is not able to you know uh, take these two levels and sustain, if the buyers are not able to sustain, then I clearly see that basically it's my opinion, but I clearly see that this sell off and the target is going to achieve by on or before 7 p.m. But if the targets have left, then we could also see this an important zone wherein a strong low is there, 3628 levels. So now the area of struggle between 3661 to 3654 with respect to gold. Okay, with respect to BTC, we might have to see. Let me take out all of these things, and I'll explain with simple charts and remove all the clusters so that it will be much more easy for you guys to, you know, look at the overall structure. So without even having any analysis, any structural breaks, without pure candles and naked candlestick analysis, if you do on a 4 hour time frame, on a, let's go by weekly time frame on a BTC, we are inside the sell side area, which is the sell side imbalance. You can even call it as now, if the market is able to sustain 16,800, 116,800, then we can call this as a balanced price range for the next levels on a weekly level, right? So this is the range which we are in. Let me just take out this. And on a daily levels, we can even clearly see that if the daily dumps on today, then this could be the high we can mark it for months to come. When I say months to come, this entire quarter, if the day dumps below this level, below 114,400, then we could see a massive sell off towards 105. That's the view on this particular asset. And there is a invalidation points, because there are multiple invalidation points where we have started our selling previously with respect to the same level, and the market or the buyers are not able to sustain this level, which is 116,740. If it crosses above, if the market is taking this order block into consideration and then taking a support from 115,700, then all this view towards 105 will be removed. That is the 50 percentage of the whole structure which has happened from the last June, I would say, last year onwards. Right after the major sell-off happened and then pushed towards upside, and we are talking about reaching at least a 50 percentage of that structure, which is 105, 439, right? So this is a quarterly preview, which is not a daily preview, which is not an intraday preview, which is not even a positional or a momentum trade, which could be done for today, right? These are all the targets which I'm aiming. But if any uncertainties are happening with respect to the rate cuts, then we could see a massive sell off. If the price is sustaining this level, I would say on the point, which is going to be around 116791, but I'll keep a room for error until this break is happening, because even if that break happens on a weekly time frame, that is going to be above the balanced price range. So when we call this as a balanced price range, let me give you another structural update. So now this is a sell side imbalance. Okay, so till here it was a sell side imbalance. Now if the price is able to, or the buyers are able to sustain this level, then on the weekly basis, weekly closures, we can see that this is going to convert it as inversed fair value gap or a balanced price range. You can even call it as inversed fair value, or the buy side and the sell side is balancing, right? So with respect to that, if the market is able to sustain this level, it has to come back. If it is able to sustain this level, it has to come back to this particular area and then tap in for the next target, which is 120. So violating this zone would push or drag many people into 180k, and then all the weak players might get stopped out. If you go back in time and check for the internal liquidity, more people will go long if the market is able to sustain this level, but the liquidity area stays within this range. I would be expecting a retest in that zone before traveling to 120. If we are wrong, what if we are right? Then we could see a massive sell off, which is below 113 level, before even FOMC, on the NY session, because it's going to be a consolidation day. If market is consolidation within this range, I'm not getting into any trade within BTC. But if the market is able to sustain below this level, then there is a retest could happen like this. This is the expectation. It should close, not this liquidity, this consider as an internal one. Any closure on a 1 hour time frame is more than enough below 113800 to retap for this level for the first target of 110, and followed by the, we could see a small correction playing out here, and then the next target is going to be 105. So this is the scenario number one. And the scenario number two, which we have discussed, if the price has to sustain. Until now you can clearly see that even on the Asia, even on London session, market or the buyers are not able to sustain above this level. This could be a trap for the late long entries. All right. So with respect to gold, let us come back. What has happened? Even we haven't got any structural shift. It is still playing inside range. That's what most of the retail traders play out. But here, if I remove this, okay, this is clearly a new one. All right. If I remove this, the whole range should be considered not here. Most of the people used to check their ranges within this zone to this zone. I'll tell you an example with respect to where the order, flow is left with the buy orders. This is the most of the zones people think about it. But if I get any closure below 50%, now the market have, given a signal that the target is extending from here, which is 3660 is not going to close, which means if we get any good opportunity to short it from 74, or even max to max at 84, and targeting a 1 is to 3 or a 1 is to 4 is ideal. Why this particular zone is not valid, or this structure is not valid? I'm considering this particular structure, and this is the targeted zone which we were talking about, which is 3660. If even if it goes below, I won't be surprised if the market is pushing beyond 3566 to 3532. But my first target, which is long enough for the day for the FOMC as well, which is going to be 3606. The reason being for that particular target, let me take you through the order flow, and I'll take you through 1 hour. On 1 hour, look at these, pending orders from the buyers, which is lying below the 50 percentage. Most of the people consider this as a structure, but when the structure got tapped, that was not even a buy side move. This whole area from last 11th September would be from last Thursday to till Thursday is kind of a manipulation towards upside, taking all the weak players in and then dumping the price, so that most people will get unwinded their positions as well, because below 3650 on futures, which means around 3606, if it stays, most people will get panicked and they'll close their position, and that's when more of the institutions have kept their entry models. So with respect to this thesis, basically I won't be even surprised if the price is coming back to this particular zone, which is 3565 followed by 3532. But the first target always remains, as we have already discussed, this is going to be the first target. Look at this. Even if I get in a second leg entry opportunity, The second leg is going to happen from 74, which is from the previous day and week highs and lows. And even with that, from here it would be a struggle. That means, like, uh, if the market is moving like this, we will have a direct push on a 15 minutes candle. Market could come back and tap into this level, and then a consolidation move, and then dumping back to the target. That could be the play for today. If Even if we are able to capture this particular zone with a 3687 as the hard stop loss, I don't want to get into this entry right after it is coming back to 3674. I'll still wait and see if the price is coming back till this level. If not, then I'll be trying to enter when the fall is actually happening. Okay, this is $12 risk and a $48 target, which means approximately we are going to get a 1:4, right? So the targeted area for the whole range would be from previous week low, which is 3506.79, followed by 3554. So with respect to the plain charts, this is the POI, or the point of interest. With respect to blocks, you can also clearly see that the orders are lying below previous week low. Anything, any questions, any clarifications, please do let me know. If not, then hi Hamza, Hamid, Yvonne, Kadla, Thakur, Gautam, Chris. Any questions, any doubts, please do let me know. If not, we will move forward with respect to the next asset, which is Nasdaq, and then we'll come back later into DXY and dollar forex pairs like GBP USD and USD JPY. Before that, if anyone wants to try a counter trend trade, if anyone want to try for a $4 to $5 reward, then I would do something similar to this, keeping a stop loss below 65, keeping a target of, so this is a $1.5 risk and even a $7.4 reward. The price have already started moving from the equilibrium to the 74 levels, and still I'm looking for the particular. All right, so that's it for the gold. Let us come back to Nasdaq. Even Nasdaq will go to the plain charts and analyze it, and then we'll come back to the structures. So these are all the zones which have taken and change in state of delivery, wherein the monthly change in state of delivery has happened, and 22,678 followed by 22,400 levels have not even mitigated. And when we discuss about these kind of charts, I really want to make sure that this is kind of in a structure which I'm expecting. Why I'm showing this? Because on a bank nifty it has played more than $1,675 move. Even on our community we have updated. If you guys are not there, please click on the link in below on this description, join to the telegram, join to the communities which we are in. Look at this move, a 3607 point move with respect to around 6% move on bank nifty, and then followed by moving towards upside another 1700 points. So a similar rally which is expected in Nasdaq, wherein market is trading in its all-time high, and it have to balance the price range coming back to this area if it is heading higher for the all-time high before this December, right? When I say 3 months, why I'm saying 3 months picture, so that once you are able to capture at least a 50 percentage move of that 3 month time window, that horizon, you will be able to trade much more better than what you are doing today. So I'll be interested to look for an opportunity to go. Excuse me. Sorry. I'll be interested to look for an opportunity to go long if the price has come back anything below than this level. It should not be exactly this level, but anything below 22,000 or 23,800 is the target which we were looking for this particular week, or for the particular event. So this is playing out really well. Yeah, this have given our entry, which is 3666 level. Let me take my entry. I did my entries here, exactly keeping a $1.5 risk and a $7 target. Let's see if it is playing out. Okay, let's come back and discuss with respect to Nasdaq. Yeah, so on a weekly time frame, the market has to balance. Wherein earlier the change in state of delivery which has happened above this level, I'm expecting the major liquidities are lying below this zone. And on a daily time frame, we have just started with the reversal signal on a last day, where we have posted right after 1:30. But let's see if the price on a 4-hour time frame still within this buy side imbalance. So now let's get back to the Nasdaq 4 hours. Yeah, on a Nasdaq 4 hours it has balanced already this range. Now from this level market is trying to push. It's the same concept. Excuse me. When the balance has happened, if the balance price range is failing, which is vice versa to, no, it's a similar thing which we have discussed with respect to BTC as well. BTC, we have discussed, this has to be taken a complete shift so that we can call it as a balanced price range, which is the similar concept on Nasdaq as well. If on a 4-hour time frame, if the price is not able to sustain, we have another 2 more hours. If the price is closing below the zone, then yes, we have got an entry. Entering below anything on the day low would be my entry, and keeping the day high as my target. This has to play out. So let me go to 30 minutes. Yeah. And keeping a stop loss right above day high, and the target would be 23,800 is going to be my target for this particular level. All right. With respect to DXY, this is the last point where I'm checking for DXY to regain its strength. If it stays below 95.909, then we are out. Already we tried the same trade. That's why I've multiple times posted saying that market could come back right after taking out this entry. I'll be still in this entry targeting for 102 if the price is going to sustain above this level, which is 97,057 levels. If the price is able to sustain, yes, still I'm looking for an entry opportunity. Let us come back and see what is happening with respect to the gold trade. Okay, now more sellers are coming in, and this was our entry, which is 3,701. If this 5 minutes is not able to sustain and flip back to a bullish candle, then we are out from that particular trade. I'm just waiting if this. We have another 3 more minutes for this particular trade to play out. On cable, no bias, and I'm still waiting for the DXY cable and USD JPY to push beyond 146 above to go long. DXY 197.054 to go long, and if that happens, obviously 1.36197 to go short on cable, looking for a target of 1.31500. So that's it from my end. If you guys have any join from your post, okay, great. If you have any questions, doubts, clarifications, I'm happy to help. If not, we'll see how the market unfolds today, and we'll place the trades right after 30 minutes prior to you know FOMC, and see how the market unfolds after the trade as well. So let's see, yeah, which is flipping right after the sell side imbalance. Sellers are got trapped here, and we have another 30 more seconds for this candle to close bullish. If that is happening, then this counter trend is still valid. So people might ask, when you're keeping a stop loss like this, and this is already hit with the stop loss, in my opinion, those who know how I trade will understand I need to see a closure below this level for the stop loss to accept it. Because when I say closure level, if the candle is closing right below the stop loss, sometimes what happens with my analysis, I used to keep very 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 tight stop losses and look for the targets. And look at that move. The 5 minutes candle closed in bullish. Even we can see a delta divergence and a, you know, POC below the wick, and we can clearly expect that target, which is, look at that move. Look at that particular move, which is exactly those people who have entered, or people who have entered right after this zone. You can clearly see that a $7 move is awaiting from 65 to 67, which has already happened, which might happen in next couple of minutes itself. So that's the best entry for the day, I think. Yeah, we can see a clear imbalance within that range, within that 1 minute push. This candle should not close below this candle. Now, making that trade, because this is a counter trend, this is not a trend trade, this is a counter trend which we were targeting for a counter side imbalance. And let me see. Yeah, this, it will come back and tally up. We can see a bearish candle is coming back next, or followed by this imbalances. We can clearly see that there is an imbalance, there is another imbalance, and the volume is very low. But still, all right, this is the third candle push, which means this particular candle should be flipping upside and closing above this level, which is 13704. We have another 30 more seconds. Let's see if the buyers are able to push and close above 3704 on futures. That is, this is the seller's struggle. It has to close above that level. Look at that move. So buyers are, pushing. See, where the buyers can fail or sellers can fail, but the algorithm cannot fail always, isn't it? Now we could see where the more people are trying to enter now. Let the trade play out its own way. We have got another six more dollar target. Added to the winners. Look at this. Had this liquidity grab, a change in structure have reversed, which is change in state of delivery. Right after the break of structure, usually price has to dump, but that didn't happen. And then price pushed upside. This was the balanced price range zone, and pushed upside, where the buyers have left their imbalance within that zone. Price has come back to balance that price range and then pushing towards upside. Always remember, the counter trend moves are not very great. It will play out once and twice and thrice, and then only it will happen. So this has to balance this range as well. Okay. So we have another 1 hour 53 minutes for this particular chart to close its 4 hour, which is capital.com. But if you're looking for the Oanda, the time difference is just 53 minutes, which is like at 2 p.m. Now, this problem will happen still October 31st, because when the time shifts us from BST to GMT, then we will have a clear cut chart analysis. But with respect to till that time, I think we have to compare manually with respect to the futures chart, which is CME futures, and then take it towards your analysis on the 4 hour chart on or above 71. It's going to be really really a great spike. So if displacement is happening, people will shift their biases, or the weak players might get along with this entry and might target to 3695 levels for the weak players. But in my opinion, at this current structure where the Asia got distributed, even London got distributed, I'm expecting the distribution still to continue with the NY as well. So targeting anything more than a 50 percentage of this whole range, without even measuring, you can clearly see that this is the 50 percentage range. And the low to high 77 ideally. 84 is the range, so 77 could be the ideal, you know sorry, ideal entry for shorting with respect to the views. If the sellers want to, strengthen their moves, they should not allow the buyers to close anything above 71. Anything above 71.3 would trigger buyers. So I did my 80 percentage closure at that zone, because we have another 20 more seconds to open a new candle, and the new 5-minute candle should be dumping off before proceeding further. If you are getting another opportunity to enter long from this zone, keeping the same stop loss, and then I'll be interested to go for the second trade, because sellers has to show their dominance as well. At the same time, we can clearly see there was an imbalance. Look at this area. Look at these zones. I'm expecting price to flip back the 5 minutes closure where the buyers are getting trapped, and next 5-10 minutes which might play around. So until New York session, this could be the range, the low till 50 percentage, which is 3678. So this could play out here and there, but if anything closes above 3671.3, which I don't think it will happen. If it is closing, then with the displacement, we can see that it's a clear break of structure. Yeah. Now it has taken out. The seller's strength have been taken out now. Let's see. Let's see how the market plays out. The 80 percentage is more than enough sometimes to get a good profits. Look at that move. Price has to flip back. That's what we were anticipating. And look at the sellers are entering. Look at this entry where you can see with respect to previous. Sellers have waited. They didn't even join. But here they're adding their positions aggressively. Delta is negative 73. We have got another 3 more minutes. It has to flip back towards downside and then come back and balance this price. Those who did an entry at exactly at 6465 levels got a $5 move with a $1 risk, $1.5 risk. So this is how you know you can scalp even with a counter trend. But the problem is when you're scalping on a counter trend, have to make sure that the risk is intact. At the same time, let's see if the price is able to sustain and close above 7133. So we might get multiple opportunities similar to this. Even this one, a zero risk trade could be placed here, which means it might go on a wick. You should be smart enough to enter here and then target towards the same target. So if you use fixed fraction position sizing on a manual node, I would be considering these all the three entry models for me, which is like the first entry and the second entry and the final entry for the same target. So the reason why it should not be a closure with the body closing upside, then the whole narrative is going to be changing. This is not going to be a counter trend. This is going to be a trend reversal. If that happens with a displacement, then we can clearly see that you know that comes with a displacement that is breaking the previous structure and bulls are dominating. If that is happening, then this is not a counter trend trade. This is a trend trade or a trend reversal trade. That's the reason, you know, I said this candle can go up, but it should close on a bearish note. Look at that move. This is the zone which we were waiting. Fill in this gap for a re-entry. Let me just go back to other platforms and check if any comments are there. No, we don't have any. I'm not able to see any comments because Russell is the one who sorted out. If I have anything here on this platform, James, Hotlet, Tolbert, Crush, Leo. Sorry. I don't think so. So that's it from me, guys. Let's wait because it's going to be a kind of a move wherein we have to wait for a clarity. Look at that closure on a 4 hours on a BTC. It had closed and engulfed the whole range. 5-10 minutes before, this is the zone which we were discussing, isn't it? Yeah, the closure below the zone which has happened. Now let's get into the internal structures. On a 15 minutes, so the 4 hour has indicated a bearish narrative for Nasdaq and BTC on the openings. Now we are waiting for another 1 hour 30 minutes. On the opening rotation, it has to come down and then our entry will get triggered and the closing has to sustain in order to look for the targets. If that is not happening, this whole trade is invalid. If the price is closing above 24,246, then the whole range which we are looking is invalid. It could be a single tap. It could be a single tap from this moment. Still, that remaining 20% is left. Two 35. All right, buyers are showing the strength, but still the price is just staying right above 71 levels. Now it has triggered all the entries, all this trend line liquidity, one, two, three, four, five. Most people, try to keep their stop losses here. Let me bring back this entry to this level, 3667. This has to be taken out. 3667.408 has to be taken out now. So I think that's it from me. Let the market play out with respect to remaining 20 percentage. If the market is coming back and showing its strength again with buyers, I'll be looking for the target for 3678 for the opening rotation, because this might play out or even take some more time. And the opening rotation can happen for the NY open at 2:30. We have one more hour. We might have to still look for the opportunity for the re-entry. And that's it. Thank you so much for staying tuned with the live session today. Hope you have got some great value. Let me know, those who are interested with respect to copying our top traders, who can join to the community and ask for all the questions, clarifications, and everything. And with respect to any support, having a one-on-one sessions, or you know trading and proving your skill to get funded, please do sign up the link in description on E2T prop. Let's make sure that we have a growth and journey together. I think the buyers are sustaining this price. Any sellers have to be, careful. If the price is staying above 3671.3 and with a displacement, the whole narrative is going to change with respect to this shorting opportunity. So let us watch the price action for now, and then make a right move when the invite session opens, followed by the FOMC. So that's it from me, guys. Thank you so much, and wish you nothing less than success ahead. Let's see you on next session. Unfortunately, for the next session on Wednesday, I won't be able to, join with you. There is some good new updaters coming on, and we'll be updating on our community. So we'll see you on the following session, which is 1st of August, not 24th of September. All right. October 1st. Yeah. October 1st. Thank you.